Greetings. I apologize for the terrible angle. I'm like incapable of getting my laptop camera so that it doesn't give me 800 chins. So you're just gonna have to deal with all of them. And then also it's freaking hot and my hair is too long. So I have my hair up here and my hair up back here. So yeah, I am going through the struggle. But I figured that I would just make a quick book haul video because since the quarantine started, I have gotten 9 new books, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but to me it is because I already own a lot of books. So I just wanted to just show those books and talk about where I got them from. And also, for any of my friends who are like, why do you keep buying books if you already have a bunch of books that you haven't read? I have made the decision that I'm only buying books that are on my to-be-read list. I'm no longer buying books that I just like see the cover of it and I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting, or anything like that. Like, I do a lot of research first before I even put a book on my to-be-read list, and then I regularly go through that list and like sometimes get rid of books that I'm like, you know what, I'm not really interested in that. So if the books stay on that list for a while, then I decide to buy them. So that's about as responsible as I can get with buying books, because otherwise I would own 8 million books. So the first book that I got was from my girlfriend, and she got me Smoke and Mirrors by Neil Gaiman, and it is a collection of short stories. On the bottom it says short fictions and illusions. Not sure what they mean by illusions, but we'll see. She really liked this book when she was in middle school or high school, I think, and she thought that I would like it, so she got this for me, and I'm really happy that she got me a book. So, tip, if anyone wants to get me a present, get me a book. Alright, the second and third book that I want to talk about I got from Book of the Month. This is a non-sponsored moment, but Book of the Month hit me up. Book of the Month is a subscription service where every month they give you the choice of 5 books and you get to choose one. And the books are almost always new releases, sometimes they're early releases, and it has a lot of popular authors. So I was kind of interested in this, but I was a little confused by it. And then my friend Allie, mentioned it to me, and she gave me a referral code so that I could get my first month discounted. So I signed up and I got my first month for $5.99, and the first month was March. I didn't want any of the books. And then April, I didn't want any of the books either. So I wasn't charged for April because I didn't pick a book. So if you ever don't want one of the books, you can just skip and then you won't get charged. I can't remember if I said this already, but it's $14.99 a month. And everyone who has Book of the Month gets their own referral code. So I'm going to put mine in the description so that anyone who wants to get Book of the Month can get their first month for $8.99. Wait, $9.99 instead of $14.99. So the 2 books that I got from Book of the Month are The Knockout Queen by Rufi Thorpe and Home Before Dark, by Riley Sager. I've never heard of this author or this book, but it sounded really interesting. And this was the May selection. And then Riley Sager, I know, is a very popular thriller writer, especially on BookTube. So I'm excited to read this. And I hope I like it so that I can get into more Riley Sager books. And this was the June selection. So, the other six books that I got from Thriftbooks. And Thriftbooks is a website where you can get mostly used but sometimes new books for pretty cheap. Not as cheap as you would get at like a thrift store, but more cheap than you would if they were brand new or if it was from like half-price books. Like half-price books is cheap, but Thriftbooks is a little bit cheaper. So, sorry, I spaced out a little bit. I'm not going to edit that. Okay, Thriftbooks is also really cool because they have, like, antique books on there, and, like, vintage books. They have, like, first editions, they have signed copies, and I think that's really cool because I feel like getting someone, like, a first edition of a book or a signed copy of a book for a gift is really awesome. So I just like Thriftbooks a lot. And they have an app, so that makes it even easier. Like, I have all of my reading apps, like Goodreads and Thriftbooks and all of that together. So it makes it just really easy to just click on the app and then, you know, whatever. That's also not sponsored, but Thriftbooks, I'm your guy. So, oh, also, I do also have a referral code for Thriftbooks, and it's good for the first 5 people that use it, and you get 15% off of your first purchase, but it has to be your first purchase. So if you've used Thriftbooks before, it won't work. So 15% off of your first purchase on Thriftbooks for the first 5 people that use the code. So I'll put that in the description as well. So the books I got from Thriftbooks are The Book of Story Beginnings by Kristen Kladstrup, The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe by Fanny Flagg, The Story of Edgar Sawtelle by David Robolewski, yikes. A Monster Calls, which is written by Patrick Ness, but it's inspired by Siobhan Dowd, and the illustrations are by Jim Kay. And the last book I got was Cat Person, which is a graphic novel by Siu Kim. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, my apologies. So, Cat Person, I actually just read earlier today, and it's really, really cute. So that will be in my, God, what month is it? It'll be in my June wrap-up. A Monster Calls, I'm so excited to read. Like, this is a book that I've been looking forward to reading for months, probably at least a year by now. I do own the, like, movie tie-in version, but I desperately wanted the illustrated version, and I finally found it for cheap. I mean, it's not, like, brand new quality, obviously, but I'm really excited to read this one. The Story of Edgar Sawtelle, I read for my AP English class, and I thought I saw my cat in the window, but she's sitting over there. Anyways, I read this book my senior year of high school for my AP English class, and it was amazing. Like, one of my favorite books, by far. And I really want to reread it, and then I also just want a copy of it. I did have a copy of it when I was in high school, but we were required to annotate it, and that made me not want the book, because I was kind of snobby about books when I was in high school. So I kind of wish that I had my copy from high school, but I got this one instead. Fried Green Tomatoes, I'll just be honest, I wanted something gay. I wanted something gay for Pride Month. And, now that I think about it, I actually watched this movie when I was in high school with my grandparents, and I really liked it. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I was like, oh god, it's like some old person movie. But it was pretty good, and I heard that the book is actually a little more gay, so I'm excited about that. Then the Graveyard Book. This is middle grade, I do believe. And I've really been in the mood for middle grade lately. So I was like in like deep search to look for like new middle grade books. And this one looked really interesting to me. It's also one of the only Neil Gaiman books that, like, the description made me interested. Like, I know that Neil Gaiman is a really loved author, and I'm not saying that he's not a good author, but this is, like, one of his only books that interests me. I don't know. And then the last one, The Book of Story Beginnings. I read this when I was in middle school, I think 6th grade, and I loved this book. This was my favorite book probably for 3 or 4 years, and I was reading, in middle school, I was reading like 3 books at a time, always. So this is such a fun and cute book, and I so desperately wanted to reread it because of how much I loved it when I was younger. So I'm really excited to reread this one. So yeah. This video is gonna be bumpy as hell. Normally when I make a video, I record it over and over and over just so that I can, like, make sure that it sounds right and make sure that I don't stumble over my words too much. But I just wanted this to be like a whatever video. Like, I wanted to post a video, but I didn't want it to be like super official. I don't know. My reading wrap-ups aren't that official, but I don't know. I want it to be real. So I am gonna post my reading wrap-up tomorrow for May. But yeah, I don't know what I'm about to say. Yeah, so those are all my new books. I am taking a break from buying books now because I officially have like like 30 books that I haven't read. So I'm just gonna give it a break because I do have like 80 something books on my TBR, but I don't physically need all of those books yet. So I will try to read through the books that I have before I buy new ones. So yeah, okay. I hope someone enjoys this ridiculously awkward video. Okay, peace out.